Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live. And as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working on Blender. Yeah, today I'm just going to be working on Blender. I'm used to saying Unreal Engine, using C++. That's today is the Tuesday's stream. And let me go to my gameplay screen real quick. Let's go ahead and open a different chat window here. What up, guys, real quick. Let me go there. Let me go to YouTube. There we go. Okay, now if I were to go ahead and go to my channel. Well, hold up, guys, let me get in the other window. There we go. Okay, let's get this in my other channel. Let's open alias. I think Pixels, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's go ahead and just extend that from there. Let's extend this from here. And then let's extend this from the bottom. So, as you guys can tell by the post that I had, whatchamacallit, 2 days ago, where I asked you guys what should I do, what stream should I have this Tuesday, 63% of the 51 votes said that I gotta go with Blender. So I guess, guys, I'm going with some Blender. That's it. The reason I have like late stream right now is because I did have college, and like today, I just came from college, so I was just getting dressed and all that stuff. That said, let's go ahead and maybe extend this, because for Blender I usually don't use my parse like my portrait way. I don't like use Blender in a portrait mode. Is that how we call it? That said, and guys, I worked like on a new stuff today. My goal is to like work on sculpting and maybe make like a good meshes for like my Unreal Engine or the game type stuff. I missed so many live streams. I've been actually wondering where you were at Pixels. I missed you too. That's it. Let's start off by deleting everything. Okay, now let me go ahead and get Gemini here. Okay, wait, let's go ahead and just decrease this. The reason I'm getting Gemini here and going to like my old chat is to firstly say something like Sutsei live exclamation. Let's go with something like Sutsei live exclamation. And guys, you guys might be thinking, why am I wearing glasses? Two reasons. Firstly, I feel like it's cool. Secondly, it's like it gives me it's like a blue light filter glass, so the white light or like the bright light does not actually affect my eyes. That's it. That's enough chat. Eyes on the screen, you're witnessing the return of a warrior who chose discipline over distraction while the rest of the world was sleeping or slowing down. We're here to push beyond the limits of mediocrity. The successful warrior is the average man who, with laser-like focus, said by Bruce Lee, do not become comfortable. Comfort is the graveyard of ambition. Today we're not just coding, we're craving a path to mystery which closely... Okay, watch closely, because the logic we build today will be the foundation of the empires we create tomorrow. That's precision and vision. Let me say something like... Okay, let's go with something like Sensei. So, today is Tuesday and I have a Blender stream. I am planning to make meshes that I would need using Blender today. So, according to a mini project that I would be working on for the next, let's say, 6 days after today, what all meshes would I need, question mark. Okay, let's go with something like what I need, question mark, and I didn't want to use caps. Guys, the caps was just a typo. That's it. Let me go ahead and just eat some pear real quick, because I just came to college. I'm kind of starving. Okay, the meshes I will need. The arsenal mesh list, the shield VFX mesh, the visual of the shield variable, the combat knife sword to attach to your player. So we gotta make a sword. Okay, target dummy NPC, you have to make a mesh, but a proper training bot, so we gotta make a target. Okay, so we'll need a target, we'll need a sword, we'll need a shields as mesh, we'll need a floating combat font, 3 meshes for numbers, particle anchor. Okay, like spark or blood. I don't actually know how to do that, so I'm just going to do the basic things for now. That's it. Let's go ahead and open Blender. And guys, a good news is that I got a tablet, so like I can actually connect my tablet to my PC to like actually sculpt stuff. Kind of excited to try that out. That said, before I do like go over those, is there something that I really want to make? I'm gonna go with something like Shift A, go under something like images. I'm gonna load a background image. Now, for my background image, I'm gonna go under my downloads, actually desktop. Okay, and then in my desktop, I have a section called game items. I'm gonna double click that. Inside game items, I have a weapons category where I have a sword and shield. These are like pixel sword and shield, so I don't know how good they might be, guys. I still might go with something like a shield. This is just for a basic reference. So now this is my reference in my x-axis. I want to get a side view as well, but I don't really know how to get a side view because, guys, yeah, I'm as new as it gets to using Blender. Let's say maybe I go and need some more first. Okay, so should I go ahead and create my shield using a plane or like a vertices or a cube? I don't think cube because I don't have like a two-dimensional this or a three-dimensional stuff. Maybe I might go with something like a plane. But before I actually go with this, I'm just curious and something like Sensei. Okay, do you think? Let's go with something like. Do you think that you can draw a reference image for a shield for me to use as a reference in let's say something like a Blender question mark, because ChatGPT could draw stuff and loading Nano Banana. Huh. How is Nano Banana related to shield, guys? Maybe because of my typo? Hold on, guys. Maybe a bit more natural shield. Let's go with something like I just need a front and side view so I can use it as a reference. Nothing too cinematic or let's go with something like flashy. Okay, just something common, guys. I just need a good enough reference because I don't have that. Another Nano Banana is like Nano Banana a company or something, or like whatever actually, or who made like the developers of Gemini. Okay, this is something good. Okay, howdy Bunty, I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, guys, this is why I actually like using AIs at times. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and download my image. Downloading full size. I'm gonna go ahead and click this. Let's go ahead and call this something like, I don't know, maybe shield reference image. Okay, and guys, you guys can ignore like half these downloads here. I tried installing Genshin Impact, but that didn't go well because I mean I did like play that in a stream and all that stuff. Then Wuthering Waves, you guys still didn't pick Wuthering Waves for like a stream. That's it. Let's go with something like shield image, and Valorant was lagging a lot, guys. That's it. Let's get this to my desktop. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. I'm gonna go all the way here. Let's go ahead and minimize that as well. I'm gonna hit X, delete this image from here. And let's see, where's my reference stored in my other window. I'm pretty sure, I'm positive it was stored in my desktop, right? Hold on, guys, let's open File Explorer, go to something like desktop. And then, did I not move it from downloads? Okay, let's grab it in my desktop. In my desktop, I'm going to go ahead and stuff this inside my Blender items, is Blender reference images. I'm going to go ahead and drag it here. There we go. Okay, now that's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and get my chat back up here. Let's, it AI model for image generation, Nano Banana is, oh, I see. Hey bro, how do you learn from ChatGPT? When I try to learn from AI, it means reading text and not understanding things. I would say that it does come from practice because like I have been working a lot like in programming in general using only AI, like where they actually teach me, so I've learned the correct ways to prompt them and like get information from them and all that stuff. The most important stuff that I realized is like to actually implement that in actual practice, because I use them for practice. The more practice we get, the better we get type stuff. That's it. I'm going to go with something like background. Let's go to something like desktop. In desktop, I'm going to go with something like Blender items. I'm going to go with Blender reference images. I'm going to go to the y-axis here real quick. There we go. And let's go ahead and load my shield reference. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hit something like A. I'm in object mode, right? Let's hit something like S to scale it a bit lower. And then go with something like G. X, I want to get it a bit in the center here. So this is my y-axis. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit something like Shift Z. Let's select that, hit Shift Z, and then I'm gonna hit something like GX. I'm gonna get it a bit here, and then let's hit something like R X. Is it X or RZ? There we go. RZ90. I rotate it 90 degrees. If I go to my negative x-axis, I get another picture, so I'm going to go ahead and hit something like S, scale it as usual, and then go with something like GY, move myself in the y-axis, and get a side view of it. There. Okay, that should be good. Now, if I go to my y-axis, I see the front view right here. Okay, and if I go to the negative x-axis, I see the side view. Okay, that's about it. Now let's get to working. Hi, it's been a while. Have you tried VLang already? Honestly, I have not. Maybe after my programming for 250 series, where I'm actually learning Unreal Engine for the time being. Maybe once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to like VLang, or just try to maybe try the language just for the sake of trying it type stuff. Because I was actually planning to move on and learn Python and C++ at the same time. Because after the spoilers, Lord, guys, I might have a series where I make a chatbot. Speaking of which, guys, I did not think AI is going to be so good in like generating these images. This is the perfect kind of shield that I could expect for. Okay, that's it. Now, what is something that I might want in this shield? Let's think. Maybe I could go ahead and use spheres for my circles here. I could sculpt something as well. And I can use my tablet there, guys. I'm pretty excited for that. And then I'm going to be needing vertices first, sure, here. Okay, and then maybe these extra drawings could just be a texture slapped over it. How would I make these vines? Could I use more spheres and just like round it off here? I think I could do that. Okay, I mean, I'll actually get to that. Firstly, I want to go ahead and use a square here and then extend it, trace it, trace it. Okay, so I'm going to go with something like Shift A. I'm going to go with Mesh and load in a cube. Now, for my cube, I'm going to go to Tab. I'm going to go to Edit Mode by clicking Tab, hit something like S to scale this down. Then I'm going to scale it just right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my X-ray mode, select the right side, right click and delete vertices. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and something like A to select all. I'm going to go into my modifiers tab, and guys, in case you guys can't see my tab and all that stuff, make sure to move on to like my horizontal stream. That's why I actually have my entire window. Okay, because I could actually use Blender in like portrait mode, but it gives me like very less room to work with. That's it. I'm going to go with add modifiers. Let's go with something like I want to add a mirror modifier. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apply it in the x-axis. I don't want to enable clipping. I want to go with that. There. Okay. So, did I apply mirror modifier? Maybe not. Maybe I go with a bunch of control Z's real quick. So, this is my mirror here. Okay. So, there. Okay, I'm going to go back to my y-axis. I'm positive I got to go ahead and apply mirror modifier here. Okay. Oh, before I apply mirror modifier, my bad, guys. I'm gonna go with Control R first. Let's go ahead and hit something like Control R. Add a loop cut in the center. After this, I can go ahead and select that. Right click, delete vertices. Now I can add a mirror modifier. Guys, it's been a while since I used Blender. There. Let's go with something like x-axis. That is going to be in the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the y-axis. And then I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I'm going to be honestly enabling clipping for the time being. Okay, can you explain us how to fix UV overlap without exploding/unwrapping UV for 3D models, please? Honestly, I'm not like really good with Blender. That's it. I have like worked with that. I'm pretty sure you guys gotta go to like this top icon here and then click the face orientations, and wherever you guys see it's like red blocks or like red pieces of mesh. I'm pretty sure you guys gotta like select that and then hit something like Alt and then like flip it type stuff. Although I would like recommend to fact check me because I don't use Blender much. And that said, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna hit something like A, or maybe just select this part. Okay, I'm gonna go with the track mode. Let's go ahead and move this a bit to the left. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and select this mode, move it a bit to the left as well. There. And then I'm gonna go ahead and select this bottom mode, get it a bit lower. Pretty sure this is how the shield's angle goes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and select this top and get that a bit up here. There. Okay, I think that's good. And I think I made a small mistake. I should have gotten the shield like above my axes. Okay, maybe I might fix that real quick. So I'm going to go to something like my y-axis. There we go. In the y-axis, I'm going to go ahead and right-click. Let's go with X and maybe right-click and delete this real quick. Okay, once I go ahead and let's say delete my vertices, I'm going to select this to... Okay, let me go with something like cube. That is empty. There's my cube. I'm gonna go ahead and delete my cube real quick. So, okay, isn't there like a... Can I hit backspace? I'm pretty sure that could delete it as well. Cannot? There we go, delete. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my y-axis. I'm gonna go ahead and select both. I'm gonna go with A, go with something like G, Y. Get myself a bit higher. There. Okay, I think that's good. It's like right above the red line. If I go ahead and hit something like negative x-axis, there we go. I would say that's somewhat good here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to my y-axis. go with Shift A and do the plane part a bit quickly. Oops, not a plane. Shift A, gonna go with a cube. For my cube, I'm gonna hit something like S to decrease the size. I'm gonna go with GZ, get myself in the center. And then I'm gonna go with Control R, add a loop cut. First, I'm gonna go with Tab A. So there we go. Okay, doesn't the tab work? There we go. Gonna go with something like Control R, add a loop cut here. Hold on, guys. I shouldn't be rushing the process there. Let's highlight this part. Okay, howdy pixels. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's right click this. Let's go ahead and delete that one. Now let's add a modifier real quick. I'm gonna go with a mirror modifier. I'm gonna be having my on cage selected and my clipping. I guess I'll keep it selected. Then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say highlight this part. Extend it from the sides. Let's go ahead and hit something like Shift. There we go. I'm gonna extend that from this side. I'm gonna click that. Extend the size from here a little as well. Okay, select the top part, get it a bit higher. Select the bottom part, get that a bit lower. There. Maybe I select this part and get it a bit lower as well. And then maybe get it in a little bit higher. There, I think that should be good. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, perfect. Maybe I want to do the same thing for this side as well. I'm going to go ahead and get that a bit to the left. There. Okay, I think that's good. Now, before I actually go with the side stuff, maybe I want to go to my negative x-axis. Okay, and I'll have to like kind of shrink this thing up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select this part. Let's go with something like G. Maybe going to go ahead and get myself right here. Gonna hit something like G, get myself up there as well. Gonna go ahead and select that part, hit G, get myself here. Okay, just kind of roughly. Later on, I am gonna like fixing these. I am gonna be fixing these rough things that I added here. That's now. Here's the thing. I think I gotta add a loop cut. I'm gonna hit something like Control R. Isn't a loop cut gonna be added here? Let's go with something like G. Okay, wait. Here's the thing. I'm positive I gotta go with Control R to add a loop cut. There we go. Let's add it somewhere here. There. Now I'm gonna select one side, go with something like G, get myself right here. So there we go. Okay, gonna select that, go with G. Okay, wait, something isn't like adding up here. Or I think it is. Never mind, guys. Okay, let's go with something like the negative x-axis. There we go. Okay, now, should I add another loop cut? Let's get that somewhere here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and select this part, hit something like G. Let's go ahead and get it here. Okay, and for the handle, I will be using, pretty sure I gotta use a cube for that. So I'm gonna, like, go ahead and use a cube for this part. But first, I want to do the base. Okay, let's go ahead and select that part. Get that a bit higher. Select the bottom part from there, get that a bit lower. Okay, what are your specs, my man? Honestly, I am using, I think it was Intel Core i9 with a 32GB RAM MSI's motherboard, and I'm not using a specific GPU. My GPU is, like, integrated inside of my motherboard. That's it. I'm pretty sure, like, those are the only things that we say for RAM. And I think, do we say, like, how much, gigabytes we got? Okay, that's it. Let's go all the way up here. Let's copy this, get this all the way up here. Okay, there we go, guys. I think it's time to take some kind of definition here. Okay, let's get this there. Let's go ahead and grab that. Get that part a bit here as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and just trace this on here. Okay, and guys, these reference images were like such a lifesaver. There. Maybe I want to get this a bit lower here. Okay, and then I'm not going to be adding another loop cut. Instead, I'm going to go back to my, let's say, negative x-axis. Okay, copy this entire part. Go with something like G. And then just trace this part from here, copy this part, and get it here as well. Now, that's pretty much it. The bottom part I'm going to be ignoring for the time being, because later on I will be using spheres to like actually get this part done. But maybe I want to go ahead and add a vertices up there and then just extend that part here. So, let's see. I mean, I might do the whole thing with a sphere. And these spines, for these wines, I might actually use a sphere as well. Guys, does this look like some kind of a shield? Maybe I go back to my y-axis. Let's go to my y-axis real quick. There, now in my y-axis, this has shrunk a bit. Okay, why could that be? Oh, the size of this might be different from the size of the other one. Okay, here the size is big. Maybe, let's see. Okay, that is clearly smaller than this. I mean, it's not... Okay, what if I copy it? Can I go with something like AC and then I delete this part? Let's go with something like right-click. Let's go ahead and delete. Can I, let's say, delete this? If I were to Control V... Oh, I pasted a whole cube. Now, it didn't look to me that the sizes were different. Thinking of which, I think it does look a bit different here. Maybe I go with something like S to scale. Okay, instead of scaling, I'm gonna go with something like this and delete that one. I'm gonna go to my y-axis. Okay, gonna right click, hit something like Control D. Let's go with something like GX. Guys, this part is something that's kind of annoying actually. After doing that much hard work, the size wasn't actually the same. And that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, hit something like RZ. Okay, 90. Gonna rotate it 90 degrees. Now, this should have a perfect scale. I'm gonna go with something like GY. Bro, guys, actually, that's so annoying. Like, the scale was different. I didn't even realize that. Okay, let's go here. There we go. Now in the y-axis. There. Okay, that makes so much more sense. All that work for nothing, guys. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think, like, it won't take that long. If I just speedrun this part, I should get back there easily. Okay, so I'm gonna hit something like S. Let's go with something like G. Get myself here. Okay, maybe I want to get this a bit in the center, so I'm gonna go ahead and right click. Let's delete that part real quick. I'm gonna go there. Let's go with something like GX. Go there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like GZ. Go a bit higher. Okay, guys, this time I gotta like make sure everything's good. This is what happens when we don't use Blender or like any kind of software for too long, and when we start using it all of a sudden, we just make so many mistakes. Let's go with GZ. Get that a bit here. There. Okay, now I'm positive everything is correct from every single angle. There we go. Okay, that's it. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit Shift A. Go with something like... Oops, let's hit Control C. Shift A. I'm going to go with something like a cube. Let's hit something like S. I just want my cube selected. Okay, let's hit something like S to scale. I'm going to go with something like GZ. Get it a bit higher. Go with S to increase the scale a little. Not too much, honestly. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit something like Control R to add a loop cut here. There, then I'm going to highlight this part, right click, delete vertices, add a modifier, go to search, go ahead and add a mirror modifier. I'm going to enable that. And I'm going to enable clipping as well. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do the quick little extending from here as well. I'm going to go ahead and extend it from all these directions. Maybe, just maybe I want to extend it from here as well. Okay. Excuse me, guys. And I feel extending it from here as well is getting better. Okay, now, it shouldn't be that hard to go back to my x-axis. There we go, because the size is already kind of aligned, to be honest. So, all I gotta do is hit something like G, get this here. Maybe, do I want to get it below the sphere? Or above the sphere? I guess I could go ahead and get it above the sphere, like right here. There. Okay, let's scroll in a bit. Let's go ahead and highlight that. Go with something like G. Get this part here as well. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Get that here. Okay, I think that's my line. And then let's copy this part as well. Let's go ahead and just trace it. I'm going to work on the wides later on. Okay, then I'm going to hit Control R to add a loop cut. Let's add a loop cut. Get it a bit here. There, I think that should be good. Let's copy that. Hit something like G. Hit something like G, get that here. There we go. Let's hit Control R again. Gonna go ahead and get another loop cut here. So I'm gonna go ahead and highlight, let's say just the top part, or maybe both. Gonna hit something like G. Okay, maybe just the top part, hit something like G, get that here. Let's highlight the bottom part, get that here. There. Okay, and then let's highlight that, get the top part here. And then let's highlight the bottom part and get it here as well. Now, once I'm done with that, I think maybe I might require one more loop cut, or I don't think I might require any other loop cuts. I think this should be good. I'm going to work on the winds later on, but first I just want to like get a rough structure of this thing, because like if I have a rough structure, then I can later on add detailing and all that stuff. Speaking of detailing, I'm going to go with something like G. Go ahead and cover this part. Go ahead and add this here as well. There we go, and that should be pretty much good for my shield. This shield actually looks much better as well. Even though it's kind of like thick from the sides, I can fix that later on. That said, let's go with something like my x-axis now. Okay, in my x-axis, what is the next thing that I might need? I might want to go ahead and extend stuff from the sides as well to like cover this area up. For that, wouldn't it like be easier if I like did this? There, let's go back to the x-axis. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this part, go with something like G. Oh, I see. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go right here. There, and then highlight that part. Go with something like G and get that all the way up here. There, okay, I think that's good, I think that's good. Now, let's go ahead and see my shield. There we go, that looks much better actually, even from the sides and all that stuff. Okay, so now, let's go ahead and see my shield properly this time. I'm gonna go with y-axis. Okay, can I like go ahead and hide this? There. So, what is the next thing I might want to add? Like, this is my shield. The next thing that I might need could be maybe... I might want to extend this or get this a bit lower. So, I might get this a bit lower, just at the center, like how I did for the top here. If I were to take a good little look. Okay, it doesn't look as bad. Let's go to the negative x-axis. There we go. Okay, it's kind of touching the edge. So, I might want to add a sphere here. So, I'm thinking to actually add a sphere for my circle, and around the sphere I gotta just make some kind of whatever this structure is called, guys. I think it's called like an A structure. I forgot the actual name for this. That said, before I actually add a sphere, I'm gonna click something like Z, go to my solid mode. Okay, let's close this. Okay, let's go to object mode. What if I were to right click and shade smooth? Did I shade smooth? I'm gonna hit A, right click, shade smooth. Guys, is it just me or the shade smooth makes it look a bit bad? Shade auto smooth? I mean, I won't say it looks that bad, but I think I'll hold on the shading smooth later on. Okay, that's it. Let's go up here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add a whole different component here. So let's go back to my wireframe mode. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go to my edit mode, maybe object mode. Let's hit something like add. I'm gonna add a mesh. Let me name this mesh though. This is the cube, so I'm gonna call it something like base cube. Let's rename. I'm gonna go. How do you rename? Do I click like R to rename? Okay, so I see delete hierarchy, I see ID, I see address, I see view. How do you rename your cubes, guys? Do I just hit something like R? I've honestly seen people rename their cubes. There we go. Let's call this something like shield base. I'm gonna go with something like shield base. There. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and click something like this. Now, I might actually add my modifier later on because I don't think I want to add it right now. Or do I want to add it right now? Maybe I could though. I'll wait on it. Okay, so that is my front view. That is my side view. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and click something like add. After I click add, I'm gonna go with mesh. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a... Okay, two choices, guys. Should I go with a sphere? Or let's say, should I? Okay, not a circle. I think I might go with something like a UV sphere. Okay, there we go. UV sphere does not look that bad. I'm gonna hit S. Let's go ahead and scale that down. Okay, I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna shade it smooth. There, now let's go ahead and click something like Y. I'm gonna go with something like GZ. Get my UV sphere up here. Can just see if it's kind of attached to this. Okay, it is. Let's go back to my y-axis. There we go. Okay, zoom in. Go here. Now, I'm gonna select my UV sphere. Let's go to edit mode. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go a bit higher. Guys, is this the kind of part where I might need sculpting? Okay, let's go back and hit tab. I might hide this part real quick. Let's hide my actual cube. Whoops, I'm gonna hide my cube. There we go. Okay, let's just work on this. F2. Does F2 do something? That's for quick access. Okay, let's see. Let me go with something like tab. Now, here's the thing with my sphere. How do I get like the settings? I think it was something like N. Okay, N doesn't tool. Okay, that is active tools. Oh, there we go, view. Force length. No, I want for my UV sphere. Let's go with something like A. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this view real quick. I'm gonna hit something like A. Guys, how do I get the tab down here that actually I could change the amount of vertices it has? Kind of forgot that part. Okay, I'm gonna close my wireframe mode real quick. Like, it has way too many vertices. I want it to be a bit... I want it to have like a little less vertices. For example, if I go with something like add and add a cube, I get this add UV sphere thingy here where I could like decrease the segments that it has. For example, if I decrease the segments here, it becomes some kind of a plain chapped thing. And if I have some segments, it looks like that. If I have rings, it looks like that type stuff. Okay, but for the time being, I am gonna like delete this. Let's go Control Z, right click, and delete vertices. Let's go ahead and delete the whole thing. Okay, what is my sphere here? Okay, so that is sphere. What if I like right click and delete my sphere? Okay, let's go with Control S. There we go. Okay, so what was the button? I actually forgot the button. Maybe I'm gonna figure that out later as I go. Okay, so now, what I'm thinking is that, let me hide this real quick. So, I want to go ahead and add my outer sphere first. So I'm going to go with something like A. Let's go with S. There. Now, I'm just going to select my top part and maybe increase it. Isn't that how it works? Or should I sculpt this part? I might try sculpting this part, to be honest. Adding an oval here. What if I extend, or what if I like highlight this entire thing and then go with something like G? Nope. Okay, that does not look kind of good, guys. Maybe just the sides. I'm gonna go with something like G. And then just gonna go with something like G. I think that's gonna kind of ruin this part up. I gotta probably like sculpt it and get it up. So I'm gonna go to my sculpting mode. Okay, and can't we use images in sculpting? No? Not sculpting? Is there an easier way to do it? Okay, if I go to something like my modeling tab again, actually my layout, there we go. How do I convert this to be an oval? Let's see. Maybe I select that. I go with something like S to decrease the circle size. Okay, gonna go with something like GX. Put that a little here. There. I'm trying to get this like in the center. Although that wouldn't like make much of a difference. There we go. Let's go with something like S. Okay, now how do I just convert this to be an oval? Let's see. Is there some kind of buttons to do that? Positive, they're like, I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might be something, but then I can't just extend it from the bottom because that would make it look kind of choppy. Okay, let's do that real quick. I want to just test if it actually does make it look choppy. Okay, if I were to go with something like, it actually does. Oh wait, hold up guys, I think I got an idea. What if I go here? Okay, go with something like, get this lower. Okay, and then copy everything from up here. Okay, and then get that from there. Does that look good? I'm pretty sure it does. S Shift Z. Select the sphere and press Shift Z. Okay, so select the sphere and press Shift Z. Okay, let me actually try that. Before that, does it look good? I mean, doesn't this actually look good, guys? Like, if I add this sphere, but I want to try that as well. I want to see what the, select the sphere and click Shift Z. Okay, did the Shift Z do anything? What if I close my wireframe mode? I mean, Shift Z, did it like add me in my wireframe mode? Oh, it did. Okay, so select the sphere and press Shift Z, I see. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and show my actual shield testing here as well. I'm gonna go with something like Z, go to my solid preview. I'm gonna close the wireframe. Okay, let's hit something like tab. Okay, I mean, if I were to go back up to my Y, I won't be saying that it looks bad, because I will be adding different detailing later on. This does look good. It looks good, to be honest. Alright guys, that's actually all that matters. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go back to my edit mode. Let's go with something like tab. And then let's open my wireframe mode. There we go. Let's go ahead and hide my cube. Whoops, let's not my collection, my cube. There we go. Okay, now inside the circle, I might need like another circle that is like circling around my sphere here. Okay, to do that, that is actually gonna be, so that's gonna be my entire outer frame. So I'm gonna be needing a whole different mesh. Before I actually go, let me go ahead and maybe copy this. I'm gonna go with something like Control, actually Shift D to copy. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like Z, X, Y. Oh wait, did I go with Z? Okay, maybe I go ahead and move that up. Hit Control Z, gonna go with something like Shift D. Let's get that somewhere here. Okay, maybe I want to hit something like G. Whoops. Hold on, guys. Shift D, G, X. Okay, and then GY. There. Yeah, bro, what are you making? Actually, I'm just working on the shield because, like, Tuesdays is the day when I really don't program. Instead, I work on the meshes that I might need, if that makes any sense, guys. There we go. Let's go with something like ZY. What if I hit, like, Z twice? Okay, maybe I'm gonna go with something like X. There we go. And then let's hit something like S. Okay, I want to go ahead and just extend this a little from here. Okay, is there a way to get this lower? There we go. Okay, just wanted to look roughly the same size as this. Maybe I'm gonna select this part. Go with something like G. Okay, that looks kind of a bad idea, to be honest. What if I go ahead and get myself a bit there? Actually, I might select these three vertices from here. Shift select that as well. Whoops, let's select that as well. I'm gonna hit something like G, get this a bit here. Select those three vertices, get that here. Okay, maybe not these three vertices, just these two. Go with shift, get that here. There we go. Okay, and then let's go ahead and select these three vertices and get that there. Okay, is it just me or this looks kind of weird now? Okay, what if I do the same with the other side? I should have on my what's that called? I forgot. The meter modifier here, but that wouldn't make much of a difference. Nope, that does not look symmetrical, guys. Actually, I don't even really think I need to like match it like perfectly. I think just a rough thing would look pretty good. Okay, only if I could get it to be a bit rounder. If I copy this part, let's go with shift, highlight that part as well. Gonna go with something like scale. Oh, I could. Okay, hold up, guys. Maybe I could do it this way as well. Okay, this way might be kind of genius too. Whoops. Go ahead and copy that, highlight that part, hit something like S. There. Okay, now maybe I'm just... Did I miss that one vertices up there? Okay, let's go with S. Extend that. Okay, wait. Hold on, guys. This actually I might be doing something here. Okay, let's select this. Whoops. I'm gonna go ahead and just select this part. There, let's go ahead and select that part, select that part, select that part, and lastly, select that part. Gonna hit something like S. Just kind of bloat it outside, and then I'm gonna hit something like... I might go a bit lower. There. Okay, let's go ahead and hit something like S to maybe get this bit inside. There. Okay, now I'm gonna hit something like A. Whoops, before G, I'm gonna go with A, G, Z. Okay, now if I were to go ahead and get my cube up here and close my wireframe mode, there we go. How does it look? Okay, maybe I might want to go ahead and increase my scale. If I do that, it's just gonna make it look kind of cranky, guys. Use a cube and subdivision modifier. Oh, that's actually genius. Okay, guys, actually, I want to try that. That might actually be... I don't know why did I think of it. Maybe because I haven't like done this in a while. But I could do that. Let's go ahead and something like tab. I'm gonna go with something like add. Let's add a mesh. Gonna go with something like a cube. Now my cube, I'm gonna add a modifier. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a subdivision modifier. There we go. And then this is like a sphere. I think one subdivision should be good. Gonna need something like S. Guys, why did I not think of the subdivision modifier before? This looks kind of insane, honestly. Okay. Maybe I go with something like simple. And then I want to add another subdivision modifier. Let's go with subdivision modifier. Okay, this could be something like a bunch of vertices. Nope. I'm gonna add one vertices here. Render. Okay, I think one subdivision should be good. There. I'm gonna click the clipping. Let's go ahead and hit something like S, Z. Okay, speaking of which, this actually looks so much better. I'm shocked I didn't actually think of this. Okay, can you press Alt click to select it? You can press Alt and click. Oh, I did not really know that. Okay, that's actually kind of useful. And click to select a loop. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and maybe select the bottom part from here. What if I go... I'm in edit mode. Okay, isn't the bottom part considered a vertices? Let's go back to Y. Okay, I'm assuming I select this. Where are my vertices? Okay, I guess I select these two. Okay, let's go a bit lower. Okay, select only the sides, hit something like G, get myself here, select only the sides, hit G, get myself here, and then get the center. Okay, maybe instead of doing this, what if I went ahead and hit Control R and added a loop cut right here? And then I selected my entire right side, went ahead and deleted it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add a meter modifier. Let's go with something like search. Let's go with something like mirror. I'm gonna go ahead and enable that thing. Let's enable clipping for the time being. Okay, now if I do something in one side, it's gonna be done in the other side as well. Guys, this is actually pretty insane. I wish I thought of this before. Okay, what is the center part? This is kind of annoying. I want to get it like a bit lower. Okay, let's go all the way back to my y-axis. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the y-axis there. Okay, I'm gonna go with Control Z. Go with something like G. Get myself a bit higher right here. Okay, then I go ahead and copy this part. Let's go with something like 1. Let's highlight that. Go with something like G. Want to just kind of round myself, if that makes any sense. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the top. I'm going to go ahead and hit something like, let's go with number 2. Go with something like G. Get myself right about here. And then I'm going to hit 1 for face select again. Copy this part. And just kind of round myself up here. There. Now, here's the thing. I can't select these sides from here. So I might go with Control R and add a loop cut. There. If I add a loop cut there, I can easily kind of just increase the size of myself. Let's press S Shift Z to scale on all axes except the Z. S. Okay, and then Shift. Maybe I go with A and then S Shift Z. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's hit Control S, Control S. So I'm gonna go with A, S Shift Z. Okay, I did not really know this existed. This is actually kind of helpful. Okay, let's extend it from there. Maybe copy that part, get it a bit lower. I just wish it had more vertices, but I won't say it looks bad. I might want to get the forward a bit lower. What if I right click and then, or maybe hit Z, go to my solid preview, close the wireframe. Okay. I mean, it's gonna be good as long as I got it a bit higher, right? There, let's get this a bit higher. There. Okay, maybe a bit lower. Okay, most likely a little higher, so it's not seen. There we go. There. And then I'm gonna go ahead and select that, right click, and I want to shade smooth, so I'm gonna go ahead and click tab. Let's right click and shade smooth. Okay, I'd honestly say this looks so much better. Although here's one thing, it's like I'd have to create a barrier around it too. And these spines, those are different issues. Well, maybe I can go ahead and extrude this part from here. Let's go ahead and click tab. I'm gonna select my cube. Let's hit tab for my cube. So, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to my sphere in that case. Go with something like A, hit tab. I'm gonna close it all. Okay, let's go ahead and name my sphere something. I'm gonna go ahead and name it something like gems. Let's right click. I'm shocked that we can't rename it. I thought we could rename it. What is my cube? Oh, there, I can actually rename it. Can I right click, go maybe a bit lower, click my cube 4. Okay, there's my cube. Can I not rename my cube? That's kind of... It doesn't make sense if they don't let us rename our cubes. How am I going to keep my stuff organized? Okay, that's it. Go to modifiers, apply subdivision modifier to access the vertices, and please stop saying something like us. It actually does make sense. Okay, adding apply subdivision. I actually did add subdivision modifier. That's let's go ahead and select this. Go with something like tab. Now I'm gonna go here. Let's go to the right. Go to face select. I'm gonna go ahead and face select this part. Let's hit something like E to extrude. Gonna extrude it from here. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit something like a G to get it like somewhere right here. There, that looks much better. I'm gonna open my wireframe. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and select my cube now. Let's hit something like tab. Let's select my cube, go with something like GZ. Get my cube in its original position. There. Okay, now, if I were to go back to my y-axis, not negative y-axis, there we go. And then hit something like close that wireframe mode. Let's close my wireframe. There we go. I mean my X-ray mode. Okay, so I have one cube up here. All I need is 3 more. So I might go ahead and right click and shade smooth. Okay, I won't say the shade smooth looks bad right now. Although what if I go with shade auto smooth? I'd say auto smooth looks a bit better. Okay, you added subdivision. There's an option of apply. Honestly, whatchamacallit, even if I like, is it like mandatory to like apply it before we're done with our meshes? Cause like I could like go ahead and apply my subdivision and then apply my mirror modifier as well. But if I actually do that, then it's kind of saved. I cannot like modify type stuff. But I mean, I think it's the same thing. I wouldn't like really have to remodify it. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Let's right click. I'm gonna go ahead and delete. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Go with something like Shift D. Let's go with something like GZ. Get this a bit higher. There we go. Maybe I want to go ahead and extrude this a bit as well. Do I really? Okay, I could go ahead and click this. Right click, shade smooth. I think I'll work with the smoother version. That's much better. Okay, this is just the vines. I might have to extrude this a little bit. Okay, stop typing. Guys, stop typing is kind of crazy. I feel like I'm not even typing right now. That said, I'm going to click that, hit something like edit. Let's go up there. Going to go to y-axis. Now, I might hit something like E to extrude. Let's extrude that a little. And then it's something like G to like kind of position it. There. I think that's going to look good. I think that might look pretty good. Okay, that actually does look kind of good. I'm going to go ahead and let's hit something like tab and then select this. Maybe I'm going to hit something like GZ to get it a bit lower. There we go. So I got my 2 gems up here. I'm going to hit something like Y. Okay, now I got to work on my vines. But before I do work on my vines, I have like 2 more gems to add in the left and right as well. Before that, what if I go to my negative x-axis? Okay, this kind of requires me to get this thing a bit higher. So I'm going to go with GZ. Go there. And then gotta work something up with my gems. Maybe I'm going to go with Control Z first. Okay, because I want to select the top part. So I'm going to select this. Go with something like tab. Let's select... okay, so I do not have my top part up here. So how do I get that thing to extend? Okay, unless I don't separate this, maybe if I go with something like G, select this vertices here. Let's go ahead and select that vertices. How do I select this vertices? Can I like not select this? Oh, I'm in face select. There we go. Let's go there. I mean, I was in face select. What is the second one called? There we go. It's got edge select. I gotta be in edge select. And then what if I go ahead and remove my clipping? There. I can go ahead and kind of separate those. Nope, that seems like an awful idea, guys. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and keep my clipping on. And while it's on, I might actually... Okay, I can't extend it while my clipping is on. What if I go with something like G? Can't do that as well. What if I go with S? That doesn't work either. How do I kind of flatten this area up? What if I right click and delete edge? That deletes my entire extruded edge. Maybe I go with Control Z again. What if I hit something like Control R to add a loop cut somewhere around here? Okay, can I like not add a loop cut? Okay, what if I get this somewhere here? There. Okay, would this actually be good enough for my loop cut? Okay, let's go with something like negative x-axis. Okay, actually, I think this might work. I'm gonna select this. Let's go with face select. Select the face and press I to insert the face. That's genius. I might do that instead of adding a loop cut. I insert. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close this real quick. So select my face. Okay, so let's go with 3. Face select. Gonna hit something like I mean, I won't say it's... Okay, actually, you're right. I think this is good. There we go. Let's go back to the y-axis. Guys, I actually completely forgot about this. This is what happens when like I don't use Blender for a while. Okay, but let's go with something like GX. Let's go with something like GY. GZ. Okay, can I get this higher? I could get this higher, but then if I do really get this higher, something might not be good here. Let's go to my wireframe mode to be here. Gonna hit something like 1. I might select the 2 edges here. Go ahead and just shape them according to this thing. There. Okay, for some reason this feels kind of... Wait. All of a sudden it doesn't look as good. Okay, some of the faces does not look like it's kind of facing properly. And there. Okay, it looks kind of distorted, to be honest. There, so both my faces are here, all 3 edges are here. Let's go to my negative x-axis. In my negative x-axis, I'm gonna go up here. Now, just to make sure my faces are not gonna be distorted, I'm gonna go with the forward face first. This face is going to be in charge there. That face is going to be in charge to be here. There. And this face is going to be in charge of being right here. That face is going to be in charge of being there. Okay, maybe what if I get this face here? Okay, I mean, it looks kind of... Okay, it does not have to look exactly the same. I just got to get the correct structure out and then I'll be good. There. I think in terms of structure, this should be kind of good. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I could go ahead and copy that, go back to my negative x-axis, hit something like S to scale, gonna scale it a bit lower, go with GZ, get myself a bit higher, and I gotta maybe be a bit, I gotta rotate myself a little maybe. Okay, there we go. Maybe I'm gonna go with RZ, nope, RX, 90. Rotate 90 degrees, GZ, get myself higher. Okay, and then let's go with GX, GY, get myself here in the center. Okay, GZ, get myself a bit lower. There, okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna go with something like tab. Let's go with tab. Okay, go with something like 1, select this part. Okay, wow, genuinely inspired your stream quality, man. Love, and I'm an SQL guy. That actually sounds really cool, and I appreciate you. Suyers, is that a pronunciation name? That actually means the world to me, guys. Press E to extrude. Honestly, yeah, that actually does sound kind of cool. That's it. Let me go ahead and eat something real quick. I'm starving. Okay, so if I close my wireframe mode, go to my Y, I won't be saying it looks bad, but in the same time, I won't even say it looks that good as well. I might go with something like S to scale it, SX, maybe SY, there. Let's scale it a little in the Y-axis, and then I want to go with something like SX, whoops. SX, scale it a bit like this as well. There, and then I'm going to go with GZ. Okay, I don't know, even if it doesn't look like exactly as it should be looking, I'd still say it looks kind of good. It's like almost as close to like the original thing as possible. Okay, like if I open my wireframe mode, this is just a bit more distorted and all that stuff, but I'm not that advanced to really make it look that distorted. So I think this should do for the time being, guys. Okay, that's it. Let's go back to my y-axis now. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. Let's go with something like Shift D, and then I'm gonna go with something like GZ, GX. Okay, there we go, and then I'm gonna go with GZ, get myself a bit lower. I'm gonna go with something like S to scale, R to rotate. Let's rotate myself all the way there. Go with S to scale a bit more, and then R to rotate a bit there. Okay, and then maybe I want to go ahead and click this. Go to tab, go with something like L. I'm gonna go with something like SY. Extrude myself in the y-axis there. Okay, did I extrude myself a lot by mistake? Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and click L, select the whole thing. Maybe get myself a bit lower, like right there, and then a bit towards the left. Okay, and that wouldn't be as bad. Let's go with SX, scale myself. Wait, I meant SY, my bad guys. Let's go with something like, see both sides, go with SY, scale the Y-axis. Okay, I mean, no, that looks awful. Yeah, I'd say this looks good. Okay, now I'm SQL guy who is trying to learn it from 3 months but still fail. Honestly, I feel like fail does stand for first attempt at learning, so never let it demotivate you guys. Okay, what do you do? What's your ultimate goal with all your grind? Basically, for the time being, I do have like a program for 250 series, where my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. And for that, I thought that I might actually need to learn to make mesh and all that stuff, because game would be kind of boring without having good models and all that stuff. So I'm trying to work on that. Mm. Then let's go with something like Q, good object mode. I mean, there's still one issue. It looks like it's kind of bloated outside. I wanna fix that. Let's go with tab. Gonna go with L. I might go with something like S. Scale it just in the x-axis or in the y-axis. There. Okay, let's go with SY. Scale it in the y-axis. That should be good. Get this a bit back, and then SY. Increase it a bit. There. Now this is a bit high from here. I'm gonna go ahead and push this a bit back. Okay, maybe a bit here. Okay, go with SY. There. Okay, one thing is so nice, I gotta get it exactly perfect. Right there. Okay, now this looks good if I were to hit something like tab. It's not too out, it's not too in. It's just perfect, guys. Okay, not to brush or bubble, but the model is a bit off. You need a middle loop. That actually does make sense, guys. I feel like I haven't used Blender in a while because I've been working with like Unreal Engine, Unreal Engine, and now I even have College. So, guys, this is what happens when we whatchamacallit, stop working on a program. We get like awful at it. That's it. Great, love it. Can still keep leveling up. Honestly, I appreciate you, Ultra Hurst. That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, then make the outside smaller. Bro, apparently these multiplayer games where you use AI to use voice chat, where the enemies pretend to be your friend who are you playing with. That actually does make sense, guys. Okay, that's it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. I'm gonna go with Shift D, and guys, I do want this to be like a professional level stuff, because like, of course, I'm not like that good with this stuff and all that, but I want it to be like as good as I could get it, because okay, there we go. Because like, I don't really have a team and all that, so it's like I feel like I'm a one-man team, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and close this up here. There. So it doesn't look that good, but it doesn't feel as bad as well. So I think this is like gonna be good. Now I gotta work with the wines. So what am I going to be using for the wines? Maybe I might go to my X-ray mode real quick. There we go. Okay, for my wines, let's think. The thing that I might need could be maybe some kind of spheres. I could go ahead and extend my spheres and just like make a few wines and all that. I'm gonna start off by doing the center part. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my object mode, go with add, and then let's go ahead and create. Should I go with a sphere? Let's think. Should I go with a sphere or a plane? Maybe I could go with a. I mean, sphere has like many heads, or I could just go with a vertices. Okay, maybe I'll go with a plane. In case the plane didn't work, guys, I got all day. I'm just kidding. I don't got all day. I got exams. That's it. Let's go with something like I. I mean, not I. I mean, let's go with A. Oops, gonna select that. There we go. I'm gonna go with tab. Now I'm in edit mode. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this vertices from there. Delete that vertices as well, and delete that vertices. I'm left with one vertices. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like Y. Okay, and then hit G to move my vertices around. There we go. Okay, now let's get a gap to, I mean, whatchamacallit, as to where my actual mesh is. So it's all the way up till here. There, so I'm gonna go ahead and click Y again. Okay, so if my mesh ends there, I might need a border for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a kind of border from here. So I'm gonna go with something like G. Let's get that here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, you use these you use a skin modifier for the wines. I haven't really used a skin modifier. How do I do that part? Like, do I use it on a sphere or something? Because guys, that would actually be really helpful instead of just like tracing this part using vertices. That's it. I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude, E to extrude, extrude, and then let's go with something like E and E. Okay, let's keep extruding this part real quick. So I'm gonna go with something like E. There we go. Okay, first I'm going kind of with the border line of my shield, if that makes any sense, and then later on I'm going to work with the vines. So there we go. Then let's go ahead and click something like E. Gonna press E again. Gonna go with something like E. There we go. Okay, bro, finally got glasses. Guys, this is actually fake blue light glasses. I wear it for like 2 reasons. Firstly, because I think it looks kind of cool on me. Secondly, I think that it's gonna help me because I stare at the screen almost the entire day. Okay, bro's now the nerd emoji look. Guys, it actually does make sense. Only if I get my fingers in front. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and highlight this part. Although, hi doing Calspin, I appreciate you joining the stream. It's been a while since I've seen you. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and just extend this part from here. Whoops. Hold on, guys. Let's go back to my y-axis. There we go. I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude. Let's go with E to extrude. And later on, I could like scale it and adjust it to actually fit my real mesh. Although one bad thing is I should have used a mirror modifier for this. Okay, I'll have to make a entire 360. Okay, let's go ahead and select that. Let's go over this part. There we go. Okay, I might, so my circle ends there. Okay, here's the thing. Should I go ahead and add my circle from here? I could go ahead and do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. From here, instead of following this line, I'm going to go with something like E and go all the way up here. I'm going to follow this pattern. Okay, let's go with something like E and then follow this pattern real quick. Guys, I should have decreased the opacity of my image. That would have made this much better. Don't know why did I not do that. Let's go with something like E. Okay, let's go with E again. Okay, there we go. Okay, look cool on me. They look like a nerd, guys. Honestly, I feel like that is kind of a compliment. Okay, let's go with something like E. I mean, what kind of nerd does it look like? Okay, let's go with E again. Okay, because I honestly think that if someone wears glasses, it makes them like, I think like 5 times more attractive, like in general. Okay, let's go ahead and get that up. Are we going to finish extruding? Honestly, I feel like almost done extruding, guys. Hold up, let me go ahead and just cover this part up. Let's go ahead and get that. There. I should have used a mirror modifier. I knew that I should have. Okay, I mean, I think it's almost done. Let's go ahead and extrude this part. There we go. And I'm going to be ignoring the vines for now. I'm going to add that in a bit. That's it. Let's go with something like extrude, and then extrude this part as well. Speaking of extruding, I mean, there we go. Let's go ahead and keep extruding. Guys, my fingers hurt doing this stuff. I can't wait to actually move on to the new place that I'm gonna go on there. There I'm gonna be having workout streams and get rid of my this red background that I have right now. I really could use some workouts, guys. That's it. Let's go ahead and get this up here. So there we go. Okay, let's go with something like E. Guys, my fingers are physically hurting extruding all this stuff. Okay, there. I think it's almost done. Just gotta copy that part. Go ahead and extrude. There. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and trace this here. So, okay, and I'm gonna ignore these side wines. Here's the thing. Should I ignore... I'm pretty sure this is a wine as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that. Let's go ahead and extrude. And guys, if you wanna like see my entire window and all that stuff, make sure you guys move on to like my horizontal stream, because it like usually when I program and use Unreal Engine, I do like work on that as a portrait mode, but then I can't actually use Blender while having it being in a portrait mode, because guys, I feel like that makes it almost impossible to use Blender. So my full screen is like on my horizontals. That's let's go all the way down here. Let's go ahead and extrude this from here as well. Okay, let's go ahead and just extrude. So let's just go ahead and spam extrude this. Okay, that is the kind of compliment after being called a nerd. Guys, I feel like it is kind of cool though, because like nerds are pretty smart, and I do want to eventually be pretty smart. Okay, let's go here. So let's go ahead and get this a bit lower. So there we go. Okay, I think it's almost done. I might hit G and like kind of adjust that real quick. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and something like E to extrude, guys. I feel like this extruding is never ending. There. Okay, now I gotta predict where this line goes. It goes all the way there. There we go. Let's get this a bit lower. There. I wonder if someday in the future I should just have like a strict Blender course where I mean a strict Blender series where I like only work with Blender. Like right now I completely focus on learning Unreal Engine and C++, but then later on I might just go with something where I completely focus on working on Blender. So I could like actually get my meshes done first, because if I have like the required meshes and animated rigs and all that stuff, it's going to be really fun to actually work on games. That said, I think it's done. There we go. Okay, so we're all the way down here. I'm gonna go with something like E, extrude this, and there. Okay, now I'm gonna scroll down, select the two of these, right? Select the two, hit M, and then stick them at center. Then go with G. Actually, a nerd, a nerd constantly, guys. I feel that's kind of funny. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is the outline of my shield. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe hit something like A, and then F. Let's fill the whole thing. Now I'm gonna hit something like E, and then Z, just extrude the whole thing. And then I'm gonna go with A again, go with something like, get this back here, there. Okay, now I'm gonna close my wireframe mode. There. Okay, did I have some kind of wrong calculations up here, guys? Let's go ahead and hit something like, whoops, not G, I'm gonna hit something like G. There, let's go with something like 3, select that, I'm gonna go with something like G. Wait, this is just supposed to be the wines, right? Why did I fill the entire thing? Hold up, guys, something ain't right here. This is only supposed to be the wines. I can go to my solid preview. Okay, guys, which do you guys think looks better? I think by this shield that I just traced, it looks much better than this. Maybe I go ahead and what if I actually go back to tab? Okay, let's go with G, X, actually GY. Get that here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and click my empty cube and hide it. There. Okay, now I have my 3 blocks up here. I don't see my bottom or top, that's fine though. I'm gonna go back to my wired mode. Gonna go ahead and highlight that inner one. Okay, now I'm gonna hit something like tab, and then let's hit something like A. Okay, let me go with something like G and Y. There. Now I'm gonna hit something like SY to scale it in the Y-axis. To scale it on the Y-axis. Okay, let's go with something like SY again. Gonna decrease the scale a little. Go with something like my actual object mode. Select that. Go with tab. There, I'm gonna select that. Go with GZ. Get that a bit lower. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like GY. Get that a bit here. There we go. I just noticed bro's reference is probably an AI drawing. Honestly, I did like, whatchamacallit, ask Gemini, because I tried finding different kind of AI. This looked way too hard. But then I wanted like a front and a side reference, so that makes it look much better. Plus, in the fun fact, there is like no copyright if you like do this stuff. That said, I'm gonna go up here. Let's go ahead and maybe hit something like SY. There. Okay, perfect. I think that looks good. Maybe I hit something like S to scale it a bit lower. Go with something like GY. There. Okay. There, I think that's good. Now, I'm gonna delete this one. Let's right click and let's delete. I'm gonna go with something like Shift D, and then let's go with something like G X. Gonna get this here. There. Okay, so I have 2 of these. And then, do I have any kind of circle down here? Let's go back to our wireframe mode. I do have one. What cube is it? There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and right click and delete that cube. Instead, I'm gonna have this cube. Go with Shift D and then go with something like GZ. Get that lower. There we go. Okay, let's go with GZ. There. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna close my wireframe mode. Okay, that looks like a pretty... Okay, guys. Why does my this shield look much better than the one that I spent like an hour drawing look? I mean, an hour like modeling look. Okay, I think this looks so much better. Like, I would have saved so much time if I just like started by tracing this entire thing and then adding like wines to it. Okay, now to add the wines, that is the harder part. How do I add wines? Speaking of which, I'm gonna go to my Z-axis. There we go. I might want to extend a few things from here, so I'm gonna click this. Go with something like tab. Okay, guys, I love it that there are like so many vertices up here, so I can like manipulate it as much as I want. Okay, maybe I'm gonna start from the very top. For example, let's select these two vertices. Oh, I wish this was mirror modified. I mean, that's fine. I still wish it was kind of mirror modified though. Okay, do I want to really have it mirror modified? Do I want to do that right now? It won't be that hard. I'll just have to delete one side and then like add the mirror modifier. If I add a line here, left side mirror, right side non-mirror. I mean, it depends. I'll see later on. For the time being, I don't want it to be mirror modified because I want to be able to change every single part of this. Okay, let's like that. Go with something like G. Maybe go ahead and add this part. Why is this actually not adding up? Something is kind of not adding up here. My top looks good, fine. In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and just ignore that part. Instead, I'm gonna go with this part. Okay, what if I go ahead and extend that part? It's like everything I do, it has some kind of offside that is gonna make it look a bit weird. Wait. Hold up, guys. Something looks kind of wrong here. Go with Z. I want to close this. Okay, that is going to be my side. Let's hit something like negative X. Do you know what is a loop cut? Actually, I did like which I don't know what is loop cut, but then can I really use that here? Because I already have so many lines up here. Would it like if I hit Control R to add a loop cut? Okay, I added a loop cut there. Let's go back to my wireframe mode. There we go. Actually, my X-ray mode. Scroll down. Where did I really add my loop cut? Let's hit Control Z. Go with Control R. If I really add a loop cut, would it do anything here? Okay, let's get that higher. Did that really do something? Whoops, hit Control Z. And then let's add another loop cut right here. Huh. Hold up, guys, this might actually be doing something. There we go. And then I'm gonna hit something like G, get that here. Oh. Okay, maybe this actually did something. That's a fundamental question. Actually, I did like work with the loop cut, but then did this somehow make it look better? Let's close my wireframe mode. Or did it always? I think it always looked like this. Okay, he knows what a loop cut is. I do know what, like, I know most of the most of the things here only in theory, guys. I have almost zero experience like using them actually, because I want to like get to use them and all that stuff, but I have not had the chance to like use anything. I mean, not anything, like almost most of the things here. There are two ways that I could do my negative x-axis here. First way could be I could go ahead and add like a sphere here and then just like try get the shape of this using a sphere. Or secondly, I could add like another vertices. I might actually why does this part have to be kind of complicating? Okay, let's see. Let me go there. Okay. I can fix this part as well. Do I want to select this entire part from here? Go with S. Okay, maybe I select this entire part. Go with something like S, but then the top part gets... Already mic testing, mic testing. Guys, for some reason my PC crashed. Please tell me my work is saved. Wait, is it really not? Okay, guys, well, hold up. Let me actually check. Isn't there any place that my work could be? Where could my work be saved? So DG font. Guys, is my Blender mesh not saved? Okay, that was kind of annoying. Hold up, maybe let me go ahead and get my chat back up here. Okay, wait, let's go ahead and get Gemini here real quick as well. Okay, hold on, guys. So let me see something like let's say, is there a... Why is Gemini loading as well? Let me close that. Get this here. Let me ask something like, is there a way to get a mesh back if while you're modeling your PC crashes? Question mark on Blender. Guys, did I phrase this part correctly? Okay, that said, wait, this was actually kind of annoying. Even though it wasn't like that big, detailed of a mesh. Okay, it's incredibly frustrating when Blender crashes, especially if you were in the middle of a complex modeling session. Fortunately, Blender has a few built-in safety nets that have saved your work. Here's how. So check the quit. Guys, this card is going to open as well now. Check the quit recovery. Blender automatically saves files called quit blend every time the program closes, even during most crashes. Open it fresh instead of Blender. Go to file, recover last session. Okay, so I gotta go to file, and then let's go to something like a recover. There we go. Last session. What up, guys? My discard just popped open. Let's exit my discard. Save changes before closing. Don't save. What was my last session? Is it perhaps gonna go back to my last session? Go to file, recover last session. I did that, right? Let's go to recover last session. Quit.blend. Fine, I'll save. Okay. I mean, okay, it didn't actually do anything. Okay, check autosave. Blender periodically saves temporary versions of your file to a temporary folder. File, recover, autosave. So 1 to 3 blend. Okay, let's try that. Let's go with something like recover. I'm gonna go to something like autosave. Quit.blend. Let's recover. I just see a cube. Or autosave. I just see a cube though. Go to something like recover. Autosave. What is this? Autosave.blend. Oh my gosh, guys. I thought that I almost lost my hopes. I thought that I wasn't gonna get this back. Okay, waiting for the next gaming stream. Actually, that does make sense. Maybe next stream I might go with Wuthering Waves. I'm gonna be having a poll asking you guys what stream should I have like next Tuesday. Depending on that, I might go. Check the temp folder sometime in autosave. They aren't named quit.blend there. I see, guys. This is actually a live save. I did not expect this to be saved. Okay, that's it. I'm actually glad it was saved. I can complete this now. I gotta even make a sword mesh. I gotta hurry up. After this, I gotta even start working on my college stuff because now I got guys, I got 4 whole classes now. That's kind of annoying. That's let's go with something like tab. So, in my tab, how do I get a angle here? I gotta get an angle from right there. So, what if I go ahead and add one mesh at a time? Let's go with something like G, and then gonna go with something like copy that. Go with something like G. Okay, maybe I just want to go with the outer mesh. If I copy one side, the other side, pretty sure does not. Add a loop in the middle to make the outside, excuse me guys, smaller. That will fix the bloated model. Is it like a okay guys, is it just me? Does the model look bloated? Okay, so add a loop in the middle. So I could go with Control R. Okay, let's go to something like, let's go to edit mode. There we go. Let's go with Control R. Okay, is it just me or I can't? Oh, there we go. Add a loop in the middle. What if I open this? Go ahead and get that up here. Huh. Okay, let's go with something like my y-axis. Let's open my y-axis. By center, do you mean like a center of my line here? Like if I Control R, like right here? If I actually add one. Okay, that fixes bloatedness. I think it looks exactly the same. Okay, let me go with Control Z real quick. Maybe I might go to the y-axis. And then let's go ahead and Control R. Do you guys see like, okay, Control R. I don't really see, where do I add my loop cuts? I can add it vertically. Okay, let's go with Control Z real quick. Go back to y-axis. Here's the thing, how do I add the lines here? Let's go with something like -x. Maybe, can I ask, would Gemini know how to do this stuff? Okay, let's go with something like tab. So this is how my model looks for the time being. Gonna close that. Gonna go with something like Windows Shift. Let's go with something like Windows Shift S. Okay, go ahead and copy this part. There we go. Let's go ahead and just copy this image. Exit that. Get Gemini up here. Okay, delete the front face and use grid fill. Is grid fill like a modifier? That said, let me go ahead and get Gemini up here. Let's go ahead and paste this. Go with Shift Enter. Okay, go to my y-axis as well. I'm gonna maybe go ahead and hit something like Windows Shift S. Okay, take a picture of that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and save this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and save that, exit that, close that, get Gemini up here as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and paste this too. I'm gonna say something like Sensei. I added this much, let's say something like this much, but I honestly don't know what to do next. Like, should I add a I don't know, should I add a object or a mesh to make the wines? Or I think I spelled wines wrong. Maybe it's correct, or maybe it's correct. Or should um or should I have modeled this in, let's go with something like in a whole different way? Question mark. So let's say something like, let's hit enter. It's not a modifier. I see, I haven't actually heard of the grid fill. Okay, besides constantly save, I see that's the best measure. Okay, I mean, do I just keep saving it like using Control S? I could try that though. That's it, that's the spread. You took the initiative to find a proper reference sheet. I think this is the one that Gemini like gave me here. Okay, Nature Shield is a fantastic choice. It has organic curves, hard surface backing, and glowing. Okay, runic details. It's the perfect test for your blender skills. Look at your progress on those images, blah blah blah. The verdict: mesh or no mesh? You asked if you should add a mesh to the wines or model it differently. The answer is it depends on your target details. For a modern Unreal project, here's how a master would handle it. The main base, mode flat. So, okay, the main base, model the flat shield shaped wood, backing a separate solid piece first. This is your hard surface foundation. The wines, the challenge, yes, you should use meshes for the wines, but do not try to extrude them out. Okay, the proper way, use Bezier curves. I haven't heard of that. Draw those curves over the shield, okay, to use, okay, to match the reference. Then given them depth, then give them depth in the curve settings. Turn on 3D tubes. This allows blah 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 the gems and runes. Okay, that was kind of tricky to understand. Okay, final Sensei's final verdict for the stream. You have blueprints, blah blah blah. Your task, Bezier curves for those vines. Let me say something like Sensei. I'm kind of new to Blender. Can you explain me what to do step by step? Question mark. Okay, because I have never heard of the Bezier cubes, guys. Okay, listen to me. Every master is once a beginner who refused to quit. Being new is not an excuse, it's an opportunity to build your foundation the right way. The secret of getting ahead is getting started, said by Mark Twain. We're going to turn that 2D reference into a 3D masterpiece. Put down the mouse and read these steps carefully. If you skip one, your mesh will be a mess. Step 1, the block out the bones. Don't start with the ones. You need to shield the body first. Add a plane, okay, mesh. Okay, and then go with plane. Edit mode, tab G, move or rotate S scale to align the vertices to the outer shield. Shape your reference. Extrude. Press A. Okay, step 2, add a curve. Bezier curve. Okay, so shift A curve. Okay, will the gaming community here ever recover from simply copying Battle Royale games? Guys, I feel that's kind of copying Battle Royale games is kind of crazy, but then I think that I do want to have gaming streams as well. Maybe next Tuesday I might have some other option in my community post besides Blender type stuff. Okay, although you guys should like give me some recommendation in the comments or something as to what stream should I have like next Tuesday, because guys, every Tuesday I do like have a unique stream. Give it volume, go to data tab, green curve icon, geometry. The level, increase the depth until the wine is as thick as the drawing. Shape it, select a point, press Ctrl S, okay, flatten it. And then the gem, shift A, mesh isosphere, move to the circular spot of your reference, SZ to flatten. Okay, for cleanup, convert, okay. Excuse me guys, convert to mesh. So click them, convert to mesh, join, select everything, Ctrl J to make it a single object, shade smooth, right click auto smooth. Okay, I think I see. So I'm gonna go to something like add. I'm gonna go to something like add mesh plane. Okay, so I added a plane here. I'm gonna go to my y-axis. Let's go with something like G, Z. Get it a bit higher. Go ahead and open my X-ray mode. Okay, now what is a Bezier curve? I'm gonna go with S, decrease the size of the plane. Okay, now both look kind of same, so I'm gonna go with something like, maybe, should I go with a cube? Okay, before I go with a cube, I want to test what the Bezier curve does. I'm gonna go with S to increase the size a little. There. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit Shift A, curve, Bezier curve. Oh, I actually did. Wait, what is the Bezier curve about? Can I hit E to extrude? Tab. Alright, guys, what is the Bezier curve about? At least someone tried to prove some good knowledge. Thanks for that. Honestly, that actually does mean the world to me. Appreciate you, Raul. Okay, bro, don't you have school right now? I just came from college, guys. That's the reason I streamed a bit later, right? That's the reason I had a bit later stream. Okay, because usually I would have been done with my stream by now, but then these days, whatchamacallit, I actually have college, so depending on my college's schedule, my streams are on. Let's go with Control Z again. I'm gonna go with Control Z. Let's go ahead and remove my stuff. There we go. I'm gonna go with Y. I got a different idea, guys. I'm gonna hit Shift A. Maybe not Shift A. I'm gonna go with Add Mesh. I'm gonna go with a cube. Okay, let's go with S to scale it absolutely small. Go with GZ. Get this a bit higher. There we go. Let's hit something like S again. Gonna have this size. And now let's go ahead and add a modifier. I'm gonna call it something like a mirror modifier. Let's go with something like mirror. Okay, speaking of mirror, guys, before that I forgot one important thing. I'm gonna go with tab. I'm gonna go ahead and hit something like 1. Let's add a Control R loop cuts. I'm gonna loop cut here. Then copy that part, right click, delete this. Okay, do you think Blender will be able to completely replace? Do you think Blender will be completely... Okay, we'll be able to completely replace Maya and 3ds Max. Honestly, I haven't like tried those 3D programming software or something, so I wouldn't be able to tell. But I feel like Blender is like really good. Although, what are those used for? Like, are they like premium or like free version type stuff? Okay, that's it. Let's go out of here. Wait, actually, I forgot one thing. I'm gonna add a modifier. Let's go with something like a mirror modifier. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and check my this thing here. There we go. Now let's hit something like A. I'm gonna go with something like A. Go with something like R. There we go, guys. This is actually genius. I should have thought of this sooner. Okay, they're paid and closed source. Oh, I see. Are they like used professionally, like for like industry purposes, unlike Blender? In that case, I would already like go with Blender because like Blender is free and it's like really good as well, to be honest. Okay, you would have to go to the edit mode to edit the Bezier curve. Use the skin modifier for the thickness. Okay, I might really try that because that makes that makes so much sense now. Hold on, guys. Before I really move on to what I was doing up there, I'm gonna go with Shift A. Let's go with something like a curve. Shift. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go with object mode real quick. Let's go to object mode. Okay, then I'm gonna hit something like Shift A. Gonna go to curve. Go to Bezier mode. Hit tab. Hold on, guys. Let's hit something like S. Maybe E. Okay, and then skin modifier. Let's go with something like skin. Guys, if this works, there's going to be so many different things I could really do with it. Skin wrap, hair curve, offset distance, like this. Okay. I like butt stuff. What does that actually mean? Okay, the game industry has been 3ds Max and Maya for a long has been using 3ds Max and Maya for a long time, almost 25 to 30 years plus. Guys, that's actually kind of cool in a way. That said, I mean, I feel like since Blender is free, it's already a bit good for me. Like, okay, let's go out of it there. What if I go to the y-axis? How do I increase the thickness? E doesn't work. This is skin wrap modifier. It's not skin. Use the skin modifier for the thickness. Okay, skin. Let me remove this. Is there a way to delete? Can't. Let's go with something like skin. I see one for deform. This is skin wrap. Add a procedural operation effect to the object. I'm planning to do machine learning computer science in USA. I've completed bachelor's already. Any good college to apply in the USA? Honestly, I wouldn't actually. I mean, even if I did know any, I couldn't like actually say it because I've just been in like one college. So I don't want to recommend that college because I feel like that would be like giving on which college I go to. That said, you have to be in the object mode to use the skin modifier. Okay, let me go to object mode. Okay, let's go ahead and add a modifier. Let's go with something like skin. Is it skin hair wrap? Is it like this? And then distance. I can't happen to like increase the thickness, the Bezier curve. Distance, smooth steps. Geometry cannot be retrieved for the modifier. I mean, isn't this how we like add, because this is the only skin modifier that I could really add up here. Let's go apply, paint to smart. Okay, factor. Okay, he's Indian, guys. He's Indian. It's kind of crazy. Although my face does, like, guys, my face say otherwise. That's let's go up here. Go with tab. So why can't E work to extrude? Not skin wrap, but skin modifier. I didn't really find a skin modifier actually. Go with a bunch of control Z's. Get this down here. There. Now, if I type something like skin, let me go back to object mode. I'm going to go to object mode, select this. Let's go to something like skin. There are two. One is skin wrap. There's a skin wrap here as well. Target could be something like my Bezier curve. So, on surface, nothing actually increases here. Let's go with control Z. I can select my object. Okay, so first convert your Bezier curve to a mesh, then use skin modifier. I could try that. Right click. How do you convert to a mesh? I'm pretty sure Gemini said that. Okay, due to the increased subscription prices of 3ds Max and Maya, many people are looking for a good alternative such as open source free software like Blender. I feel like Blender is pretty insane, honestly. But I haven't like tried anything much, so I wouldn't know much about it. Okay, once you convert to mesh, so isosphere, blah blah blah. Once your vines look perfect, right click them and convert to mesh. Okay. Right click, convert to mesh. There. Now let's go with something like skin. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thickness. Smooth shading. Is this how we increase my thickness? Okay, that's actually insane. I did not know about that. Let's go with something like just Z-axis, X-axis stuff. Create armature. Okay. Let's go with scale. Let's go with location, rotation. Nope. How do I go ahead and increase in this custom properties, viewport display, visibility, motion paths, collection, delta, transform. How do I scale it? Scale it in the y-axis, scale it in the z-axis. That is the armature. Let me go to the modifiers. So, wait, do you guys see skin modifier anymore? If you can't find the skin modifier, go to edit preference add-ons and you can find. Honestly, I found the skin modifier. It even like modified this thing, but then is this like it? Can't I like increase it or something? What if I go to something like tab? Okay, that is the Bezier curve. Hiding pixels, I appreciate you joining the stream. Oh, wait, hold up, guys. I think I'm trying to see how this works. Maybe I'm gonna go with a bunch of control Z's here. Gonna go to something like y-axis. Now, in my y-axis, firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and select this. Oops, gonna select that. delete that curve, go to my y-axis as well. There. I'm gonna select my Bezier curve, go with GZ, get this a bit higher. I want to make wines now. I want to rotate it. So can I just make wines by memory? I'm gonna go ahead and close my this mode. There we go. Okay, to do it with memory, I'm gonna go with something like GY, go in the y-axis there. Okay, and then let's go ahead and rotate. Let's go with something like wireframe mode. I'm gonna go with R. Okay, and then how else do I rotate this thing? Is there by any chance edit mode? I want to get my wine up from here. Can I go with something like G? There we go. Let's select that side. I'm gonna go with something like G as well. Let's go with something like R. Guys, nobody said that the wine's gotta be perfect, right? Okay, let's go with something like G. Okay, can I go with something like E? Oh, there's extruding, guys. I did not know there was extruding. This is actually kind of insane. This actually might be a massive lifesaver out here. Okay, let's go with something like G. Guys, I'm just going to be adding any kind of wines because this is just fun to play around with. There, I'm going to go with something like, copy that, go with E. Add this wine here, go with something like a G. Guys, why didn't I know about the Bezier curve stuff before? This is actually kind of insane. Wait. Since I know how to work with the Bezier curve, what am I doing wasting time here, guys? I can literally just, let's go with S. Scale that here. Let's go with A. S. Let's shrink that. I can just follow these lines now. It's gonna be a piece of cake. Let's go with something like G. Gonna get that here. Let's copy that part. Go with G. Get that curve here. Gonna copy that part. Go with G. And then select that part. Go right here. Select the center. There. I only want my center selected. There. I only want this section selected. Okay. I might want this section to be the only thing that's selected. And then I'm gonna go back here. Okay, I mean, it shouldn't be perfect. Okay, why do you think the old game developers thought about that when they had very limited resources back then? How did they manage to create such great games? I feel like it might be because they had like a lot of resources, even though they didn't have technology. For example, fact check me on this, but back in the time, I think the first ever PC that they used was like for the military's artilleries. I think it was called something like the INAC. It weighed like, it was like about 8 feet tall and like 100 meters wide with it weighed like 100 tons. But then even though it did all that, it was basically a big CPU type stuff. Even though with that they could only do like limited stuff. Like right now, our phone has like more technology compared to that type stuff. If that makes any sense, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about much. Okay, Bob, I see what you're creating. That's cool. Honestly, I appreciate you just helping. That actually means the world to me. I'm starting to enjoy the whatchamacallit, the Bezier curve as well. I wish I knew about this. Okay. Constraints breeds creativity. That actually does make sense, guys. Okay, how did they make games before AI was a thing? Like, what the frick? Guys, I feel like they're like way too advanced. Okay, like God of War. Okay, let's go ahead and extend that. Guys, this is so cool. I did not even know this is going to be this much fun. Let's go with R. Gonna go ahead and rotate myself. Gonna select that part. Go with something like G. Go there. And I'm not gonna be creating like a lot of wines. I'm gonna be creating a few wines because I gotta like whatchamacallit. Still, let's close that. There we go. Because I need to hit R real quick. Whoops. Okay, because I gotta even like work with the, I keep forgetting what I'm gonna say. I gotta make a sword as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and hit something like R to rotate. There, and then hit something like G. Get myself a bit lower. Wait, maybe I'm gonna go with something like R, rotate a bit. No, that's gonna like get thick. Maybe I'm gonna hit Control S. There, now I want to go ahead and look if this part works. Before this works, I want to go ahead and copy that part, hit something like E to extrude. I'm gonna get that part right there, and then hit something like R there, and then hit something like there. Just select that part, go with something like G, go there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and select that part, go with something like G as well. Let's go ahead and add that curve here. Let's go to my final edge. I'm gonna go with something like let's say G to go backwards, and then G to come forwards. Let's go with R here. Okay, and then G. Can I select this whole thing? This gets kind of annoying at times. There. Okay, let's go there. Go with something like G. Select the lower part. Go with something like G. There. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna hit something like E to extrude. Have I extruded this part properly? Pretty sure not. Okay, I mean, whatever that is, I'm gonna go ahead and go here. Let's go ahead and search. I'm gonna search for something like a skin modifier. Before that, I'm gonna go ahead and select all. Gonna right click, gonna go with something like confirm. Wait, hold up. Let's go to something like object mode, right click, gonna convert to a mesh. And now I can go ahead and add a skin modifier. Guys, does this look like wines by any chance? I really don't think that this looks like a wine. This looks like some kind of monstrosity up here. Maybe I go with something like a skin modifier. And then, what if I... Guys, I'm so scared that my PC is gonna crash. Even though I shaded it smooth. This does not look like a wine for some reason. It looks kind of distorted. Maybe, I guess I could like go with the old-fashioned way. That did not really include this. I'm gonna delete this. Let's go to y-axis. I wish I just didn't doubt myself and I didn't want to try this muse thing. I mean, I'm glad I tried it. I'm gonna use it some other way. But I'm gonna work with wines now. Let's go with add. I'm gonna go with something like mesh. I'm gonna go ahead and add a cube. You messed up, lol, guys. What do I don't even know what it have to do with that. I thought it's just gonna like get thick, but it ended up just being awful. Okay, what in the monstrosity has our nerd created? Okay, you can go in the object in the upper corner and convert it to a curve. You can go in the, but I want it to be like kind of thin as well, like to hit like intrude and extrude it. I feel the thing that's going to give me the most flexibility here is going to be a cube. Okay, that's it. Let's go shift Z. Let's go a bit up. Let's hit something like S. There we go. Guys, this is going to be so much better than anything that I've used so far. Gonna go with tab. Gonna go with Control R. Let's add a loop cut here. Let's select this part. Let's go with 1. Select this part. Right click. Delete vertices. Go ahead and add a modifier. I'm gonna add a mirror modifier. Let's select that. Disable clipping for the time being. And I'm gonna hit Control A. Now let's hit something like R. Let's hit something like G. Okay, if I hit G, I hope I didn't go like too out of bounds. Maybe instead of hitting G, I'm gonna hit something like S, and then let's hit something like G. Oops. Let's go a bit higher, and then decrease the size a little. Go a bit more higher. There. Now I'm gonna go to my face select. Gonna hit 3. Select this face. Select that face. Go back to my y-axis. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go. Whoops. Go back to y-axis. I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit something like G to get it in the correct order. Then I'm firstly gonna go with this wine. So I'm gonna go with something like S to scale. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this a bit to the left. Okay, let's go with G to the left. Now I'm gonna hit E to extrude, G to get it here. There we go. And then let's go with something like E to extrude again. G to bring it in the correct place, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm assuming hit something like E to extrude again, G to get it here, E to extrude, and then G to get it here. Now from here, I'm pretty sure, can I cut it into 2 separate pieces? For example, what if I had a loop cut here? Could I go with Control R? I can go with Control R. There. That's a loop cut. I'm gonna go ahead and select this side. Let's go with 3. Oh wait, in that case I could have added a loop cut here as well. That was kind of stupid. A bunch of Control Z's. Control Shift Z. Let's go with Control Z, hit something like S. Let's add a big enough this thing, go with Control Z, add a loop cut here. There we go. Now I have 2 separate paths. I can click this and work on my first path up here. Okay, let's go with E to extrude, G to scale. Might scale it here, go with S. Okay, and guys, when I say G to scale, I actually meant G to drag or change my positions type stuff. I'm gonna hit something like R to reposition this, go with something like E and G, maybe a little bit of S, a little bit of G, and then I click E again, and then I click something like G. There, you can add a look at the middle face and then extrude individual faces. Oh, I could actually do that. I'm pretty sure we do that by like pulling something like this to like the side. No, maybe not this. Guys, hold up, I pulled the wrong stuff. Maybe I can get that back here. There. I know how to do that. I gotta go ahead and just I gotta pull this. There. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's actually kind of genius as well. Maybe I could get this somewhere in here. Whoops. But if I go with A, get that a bit to the back. Maybe I go to negative x-axis. Okay, I want to get this like in the center of my wines. Is that going to be there? And then in the y-axis, there we go. That's actually crazy, bro. Honestly, the mesh actually looks good. I just gotta like work on adding my wines and then later shading and smooth type stuff. I only hope I have enough time because I got like my college assignments to complete as well. Speaking of which, let's go all the way up here. Maybe before I really change its positions, I just want to like go up here. Okay, I can get it inside later on. Let's go back to my y-axis. Gotta hit shift and then move. Now I'm gonna hit something like G. Go ahead and get myself there. So I'm working on the top wine first. So I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude. This time let's go with S to scale it just a little, and then G to get it a bit up. E to extrude again. Now I'm gonna hit G, but instead of actually moving it in a different direction, I'm gonna add a loop cut. Let's hit Control R. There, so the loop cut starts somewhere from here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's say select that face. I'm gonna go to face select this face, go back to my y-axis. Let's go ahead and hit something like a G. E to extrude. Okay, now this is gonna get a bit more complex because it's kind of hiding behind this line. I'm gonna go with another G. Whoops, I'm gonna go with another E to extrude. Okay. And then let's go with S to scale. Whoops, I'm gonna go with something like S to scale. R, get it somewhere right here. And then S to scale, G to get it somewhere up here. I might want to rotate it a bit more, like right like that. And then hit something like E to extrude. R. And then let's hit E again. I'm gonna hit something like a G. There, that looks good. Okay, you can use Scratch for creating 2D games. In Scratch, you'll be creating games like a pro, but you can't create 3D games. Actually, I have heard of Scratch, but I haven't like used it all that much. I think I used it like one time for like just 20 or 30 minutes back when I was probably like 11 or so, but then I felt it kind of boring, so I just like left it. Okay, that's it. Let's go here. And that's like right about it for this wine. Does the wine change color or it gets like tucked in? I think from there it kind of goes down. So I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude. Let's go with something like G, get that higher. E to extrude. Okay, S to scale. Let's scale that a bit lower. Then get that somewhere here. I might hit something like R to rotate. Okay, J to move, R to rotate. And let's go with something like G again. There we go. Okay, I think I'm done with the wines for this side. Time for the other side. Now for the other side, I'm going to go ahead and select this face. Let's go with something like Y. I'm going to go with something like E to extrude. Let's go with something like G right here. And then maybe I hit something like S to scale, G to get it a bit here. Because the wine looks a bit thick from here, and then it gets like thinner. I don't think it really gets that thin. Let's hit something like E to extrude, go all the way there, hit something like S to scale, get it a bit lower, G to get it there. Let's hit E to extrude, S to scale again. I mean, not scale, I might hit G to move. There, now let's go ahead and hit something like S to scale, E to extrude, G to kind of position it, E to extrude again, G to kind of position it again, S maybe to scale it a bit bigger, G to move, and then let's hit something like, whoops, gonna hit something like E to extrude again, G to kind of move it in the curve, and this kind of like overlaps with that one, so I might go with another E, and then S to scale, there, then I'm gonna go with G. There, and they're kind of just merged up, I think. So I could go ahead and actually merge them up. I'm gonna go with something like G. There, now if I hit 1. Okay, wait, let's go to this thing. Let's go ahead and click something like 1. If I were to select this and that, if I were to hit something like M, go with at center, they're kind of merged, but I think that's like a bad idea. What up, guys? Maybe to like really merge the stuff. Let me just try to get my mouse up there. Okay, wait, let's go with something like A. Move myself a bit here so I can actually turn and look stuff properly. Let's go with something like Y. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of like, I'm gonna like merge these things together. For example, gonna select that, let's select this, whoops. Okay, I'm in wireframe mode. Let's go with something like wireframe. Okay, I can hardly see a thing in wireframe mode. Okay, so I want to go ahead and like merge those things, but it kind of doesn't allow me. Maybe I'm gonna go back to my solid mode. Okay, so let's think. Okay, maybe I could just copy this part, go with something like G, get this lower. I don't want to just copy it and leave it as it is. What if I had M here? I can go with that center. I can go with M at center. And then if I were to like go ahead and hit G, get this higher. Go with G, get that higher. Okay, select that, hit M at center. There we go. M at center. M at center. Let's go with something like G. Whoops. Hit Control Z. Go with something like G. M at center. Okay, now the wines are kind of like attached together here, if that makes any sense. There we go. All I gotta do is just extrude the wines now. Okay, so let's go back to my y-axis. So this is like it for my wines. If I were to close my object mode from here, go ahead and go with something like L, select my wines. Maybe go with something like GY to get it in the y-axis right there. Okay, I want to maybe increase the size of my wine, so I'm going to go with SY to scale it in the y-axis. I mean, it does not look like a wine. It's probably because of the part that I extruded, part that I merged. Let's go ahead and re-merge it, if that makes any sense, guys. Let's go back to the y-axis, open my mirror frame. There we go. Let's go with something like shift. Go with Control C. Okay, I think that should be it. Let's go with something like L. And then let's hit something like SY. I want to scale it in the y-axis. But why is it that this part is the thing that really scales? Maybe I'm going to go back to the y-axis up here. So let's see. What if I want to go ahead and drag this down? Okay, gonna drag the entire thing down. Let's go Control C. Okay, let's go with something like G. And then gonna drag that part. Maybe just one. There. Okay, perfect. Let's go with something like G and drag that down as well. And now they shouldn't be extended that much. Why is it so thick from the bottom? Is it because of my loop cut? So could it be? Okay, it is because of my loop cut. I wish I could at least just see it properly. It's so hard to see it from this angle. Okay, so it gets a bit thick from here. Maybe I could go ahead and highlight this part. Let's go ahead and highlight that part. Hit something like S to scale. But that's not how wines really work. I want to just highlight the left side. Maybe I copy just the left side, hit something like uh instead of S, I might go with G. Whoops. Okay, maybe I want to go with this side as well. I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Let's select that and that as well. Okay, maybe wait. I'm gonna go with Control Z real quick. What up, guys? Maybe first I get this part somewhere right here to like look like a wine. There. Maybe a bit more, and then select that part. What even is this part? Where even is this part from? Control S, select all that. Whoops, first I'm gonna select this. What up, guys? Let's go with a bunch of Control Z's. Gonna shift, select that, select all that, move that in here. Let's select the two of that, get that down here. There, now let's go with something like L. If I were to drag it here, go with something like S, scale in the y-axis. Does it make it look kind of weird? Okay, let's go ahead and exit this X-ray mode. It looks like a wine, but it doesn't look like the wine that I expected it to look. Let's go with something like S, Y. There. It is being scaled in the y-axis. It does look like a wine, SY. Only thing that it's missing is like if I go to object mode, right click and shade smooth. Okay, shading smooth definitely does something. It really makes it look like a wine. It gives it the winey texture. Yeah, that's sad. Guys, it's almost been like 2 hours since I started streaming. I gotta like quickly be done with this because I gotta like work on my college stuff too. That's it. Let's go with something like y-axis. Gonna go back to my wireframe mode. That was the first out of like a bunch of things that I'm going to be adding here. Okay, so I added this one mesh here. So let's go back to Y. Y is in the bottom one actually showing. Is that like too thin? Let's close this. Okay. Y is in my bottom part showing. Maybe I go ahead and hit something like tab and open my wireframe mode. I only want to select my bottom part. Okay, and then maybe some of that. And yeah, that should be good. Let's go back to Y. Okay, maybe I want to go with something like SY. Scale it out in the Y-axis. Does that show that my wines are being seen? Maybe I want to go with Control Z again. Let's go with SY. Scale it up in the Y-axis. Nope. I mean, I could go ahead and get it like this. That brings my wine out from this side, but then the other side is the issue, so I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude. EY. So let's go with something like E and a Y. Gotta make sure that I do the part correct here. Something is wrong. You put me to sleep, guys. That actually does make sense, because like I'm trying to figure out what I'm messing up here. It's not like I can't get to see it. I want to bring my wines outside. So let's go up there. What if I like select all this, all that as well? Now, what happens if I hit something like S and scale this out? Okay, but then later on, I just want to scale the bottom part. So I'm going to go with something like S to just scale the bottom part. Now, if I were to go ahead and close my wireframe mode, I clearly did not scale it enough. Let's go with something like S. Oops, let's go ahead and just hit one S. That scale wasn't enough. If I had E to extrude it in the Y-axis, that's not enough as well. Oh, maybe what I'm doing right now is trying to get my wines' size out. Let's go ahead and get this outside. Okay. So my wine is the perfect size from like every angle. Instead, what if I go ahead and click something like tab, click that, go with tab, click 3. What if I decrease the size? Let's go with something like 3. What if I decrease the size of this? I'm gonna go with something like G, Y, decrease it a bit from here, click that, GY, decrease it a bit from there. Now I gotta fix my spheres a little, but then everything else seems kind of good. I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Okay, let's click tab, select that, go with G, Y, get myself in here. I mean, maybe it gets like a bit lower. Should I go ahead and decrease the size a bit more? Let's go with tab. I'm gonna click this, go with something like GY. There. Okay, now that looks kind of good. I'm gonna hit tab again. Click this, let's go with something like GY. Get that out. There, now my wines are actually being... Why is it just being seen in one place? Hold on guys, let me turn here. There we go. Let's go ahead and close my X-ray mode from here. I'm gonna go ahead and close it. There, that's just my object preview. Okay, so this is like that. That's the center. I'm gonna select this part, go with something like GY. There, that gets me kinda in the center. Wine can be seen and wine can be seen. Maybe I want to go a bit more to the left. Let's go with GY a little bit more. There. Wine and wine. Okay, I can see my wine from both directions, guys. Do you guys think I have enough time to like add my other wines as well? Okay, like if I were to go ahead and open my X-ray mode here, I have a few wines. I gotta go ahead and branch this and that side as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my wine, click tab, go to something like edit mode, go to face select. Now inside my face select, I'm assuming I gotta go ahead and select this part. Alright guys, trying to get the perfect selection up here. Okay, let's go with something like Y. I need the part that extrudes off this, so like right that. Can I like get that part? There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and hit something like E to extrude and then G to position. And then let's hit something like G to position a bit more. I'm gonna hit E to extrude, G to position. And guys, I'm spending way too much time here. I gotta go ahead and do some college stuff. Let's extend that, go with something like E to extrude, G to position, S to scale, S to scale. And then I'm gonna go with something like R to rotate, S to scale, E to extrude, G to position, S to scale, E to extrude. There we go. Okay, now the thing that it looks like, it seems that my curve is going a bit to the outside, so I'm gonna go with another E to extrude. Let's go with G to position, R to rotate, S to scale, G to position, E to extrude, G to position. Okay, maybe S to scale a little bit, and then E to extrude, R to rotate. Okay, G to position, E to extrude, and then G to position up here. There. It looks like it kind of stops there. I might go a bit more. I might just complete this entire 360. Whoops, let's hit something like E to extrude, R to scale. Okay, and then E to extrude again. G to position. There. Okay, that kind of completes my second part of my wine. There we go, let's hit something like tab. Okay, I don't know what you guys think. It looks pretty good in my opinion. Like, I mean, besides this part, like, I'm not that detailed at this part yet. That's the wine. I think I didn't do like half bad of a job here. Speaking of jobs, I gotta go ahead and maybe add a loop cut and like go up from here as well. Let's go ahead and select my wine, hit tab. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and select that part, the top one. The top one, there. I keep selecting the wrong part. This looks like it's the bottom one that I selected, right? Nope. The top part. Oh wait, hold up. I can just close my wireframe, my X-ray mode, and then I can just go back to my position here. Enable my X-ray mode. There. Okay, let's enable my X-ray mode real quick. I gotta go ahead and extend this one. Okay, and that one. I'm gonna go ahead and disable my X-ray mode. Click that. There we go. I could easily select the top one from here. Open my X-ray mode again. Go to my Y-axis. And now let's go ahead and make E to extrude. And guys, these things never gotta be perfect. Like, for all we know, I could go ahead and E to extrude again. There we go. I'm gonna go up here. Let's go ahead and hit Control R to add a loop cut. I'm gonna go ahead and add a loop cut right here. Okay, and then select this part. Let's go with 3. I'm gonna close my X-ray mode, select this. Okay, let's go ahead and open my X-ray mode again. Go with Y. Shift, gonna hit E to extrude. S to scale, gonna scale it out a bit. Maybe R to position a little. E to extrude. Actually, there we go. Let's go with S to scale. Guys, I feel like the stream all of a sudden got a bit boring. It's like the "you put me to sleep" comment was kind of legit here, actually. Okay, this is like one reason I prefer like my Unreal Engine streams a bit more, but then I feel like I do need meshes as well for that. There we go, and then I gotta just follow their line. Oh my god, I need 3 whole what's this called? I actually forgot. I need 3 more let's set G to position. 3 loop cuts here. Guys, 3 loop cuts is kind of crazy. Let's go with something like S, G, E to position. There we go. Now let's hit Control R, add a loop cut here. That's number 1. Hit Control R, add another loop cut here. That's number 2. Now I'm gonna close my X-ray mode and go with the first loop cut. Let's go with 3. Click that. Go to something like Y-axis. Open my X-ray mode. There. Firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and hit something like G here. Before I hit G, I'm gonna go with something like E to extrude, R to rotate, G to position. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like S to scale, G to position. Okay, let's position it a bit more here, and then hit S to scale, scale it a bit lower, go with something like G. I'm gonna hit E to extrude. Let's go with something like G to position. Guys, I think it's going pretty good actually. I'm almost done with this part. Let's go with something like G. Oh, I just realized later comes the texture painting part. I might not add a lot of colors here in that case. Let's go with E to extrude. And this kind of just kind of vanishes inside of my this other stuff. So I'm gonna go with E. Let's hit something like G. There, so that's for my first wine. Now for my second wine, I'm gonna go ahead and close my X-ray mode. I think that's my second wine. Okay, let's go here. Let's open my X-ray mode again. Now, this is going to be my second one. I'm going to hit something like E to extrude, G to position, and then maybe S to scale just a bit. Go with something like G to position a little here, and then E to extrude, G to position, R to rotate to get it a bit here, S to scale, G to position, E to extrude. Okay, let's go with something like G to position, E to extrude, S to scale. And guys, this does not look like one pipe. It doesn't even look like a pipe in general. Let's go with R to rotate, G to position, S to scale. And guys, I gotta go to my college stuff. I don't know what am I doing. Okay, I thought I'm going to be done real quick with this stream today, but guys, we're almost closing into like 2.5 hours. Let's go with R. Let's go with E, G. Okay, and then my final R to scale. There we go. Let's go with something like maybe E to extrude here. There, and I can just leave that empty. Okay, and then let's go ahead and work with my third wine as well. So I'm going to close my wireframe mode. Oops, let's select my third wine. Let's go ahead and extend that. It doesn't even look kind of good. Guys, be honest, does it look like a shield bit? Before I actually try to make some jokes, I'm running out of time right now. I'm gonna go to Y. Let's go here. Okay, all I gotta do is just decrease the size of it. That wouldn't be that hard. Let's go with G, E, G, and then gonna hit E again. Gonna hit G, gonna hit R, and then let's hit something like E. Let's hit something like G. Let's hit R. Let's hit S. To scale, get this a bit lower, clicking G, maybe a bit bigger using S. Then let's hit something like E to extrude, and then G to position, R to rotate, and then E to extrude, G to position, R to rotate again, and then E to extrude, G to position, R to rotate. Okay, and that should be right about it. I'm gonna go with again a G to, E to extrude, G to position, E to extrude, G to position. Okay, and E to extrude again, G to position, but this time I'm gonna go with S to scale. S to scale. There. Let's go with something like G2 position up here. Maybe before I hit E2 extrude, I'm going to hit S2 scale, go with G. Okay, now I'm going to hit an E2 extrude, G2 position, E2 extrude. And lastly, S2 scale, because the wine does get kind of small up there. Oh wait, maybe I want to hit a bit more G. This goes inside my... There we go, it goes inside the globe there, if that makes any sense. Where does this go? Does that go inside my sphere? It actually does not. Okay, speaking of which, I'm gonna go back to my regular mode. Okay, from the front, if I hit tab, this looks a pretty good and whiny thing up here. But if I turn to the side, what is this monstrosity, guys? Gotta fix that up. Let's hit tab again. Okay, now, I'm assuming I'm gonna go ahead and copy this part. Oh, nice. I actually copied everything I needed. Maybe I'm gonna go here. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this part. I'm gonna go to Y. There. Let's select all that. Okay. I'm gonna go with... Actually, instead of all that, I want to select it just one-sided. It's gonna be from there. So I'm gonna go with Y. Let's go with something like... Let's turn my wireframe mode off. Gonna select it from one side first. Okay, this is the side. Gonna get that a bit back. And there. Okay, that looks good for the wine part, if I do say so myself, guys. That's it. Let's go up here. Let's select that part. So let's shift, select that. Oh, this is a face select. I forgot. I can just select my faces. And now I can go ahead and get that back as well. This is gonna make it look a bit whiny. Maybe I just... Okay, hold up. Maybe I only need my faces for these. Let's go with select, select, select. There. Okay, that looks a bit whiny now. I'm gonna go with selecting this. And the fun part is I just gotta select it once. Okay, it auto selects everything from here. Let's go ahead and select this part as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and select, 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 select. Okay, perfect. Wait, hold up, guys. Let me just go ahead and come here. And guys, I think I might remove my glasses. It's kind of giving me what you might call it, motion sickness. Okay, let's get this a bit in front. Okay, let's go with that and that. Gonna get the two of those a bit back. Wait, actually, I think the wine looks good if it's up there. Okay, now for the back, let's go with negative y-axis. I'm firstly gonna go ahead and select everything up here. Gonna go with Y. Actually, gonna go here. Wait, I think I gotta go with negative Y, right? Okay, it was negative Y, guys. Let's copy that. Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get this a bit back. There. And now I'm gonna select the three of these. Let's go ahead and select that. Gonna go ahead and get that a bit back. Okay, that instantly makes it look so much better. Like, I could look and tell this looks like a shield. Does it really? Okay, it does look like a pretty whiny shield. Gonna go with something like A. Shade smooth. Okay, I would not say it looks bad. Let's go with that. Okay, go with something like GY. Go ahead and get that a bit here. If I turn. Okay, maybe let's go with GY again. Okay, but if I turn this side, it's a bit less from here. Maybe I go with something like SY a little and then GY just a bit. Maybe a bit more. What up, guys? GY. What if I hit right? Do I move towards the right? Oh, I do go a bit towards the right. Let's go with GY 1 2. Okay, now that's okay. This actually looks pretty good. Oh, guys, this was actually kind of hard. Okay, I'm just gonna shade smooth. 30. I shaded it auto smooth though. Does this like look good? Okay, auto smooth close. Just close this part. Okay, go with A. Go with shade smooth. Okay, do you guys think shade smooth looks good or like shade auto smooth would look better? What if I just shade smooth the wines? Okay, that looks kind of good. If I go to y-axis, I mean, I think, do you guys think I should like continue this like next stream? Because I feel like I'm kind of exhausted. Plus, I got college stuff, so this I might just use this raw mesh for like my streams until I don't like complete this whole thing up. Like, let's go ahead and just select this up here. There we go. I mean, I won't be saying it looks kind of bad, but I gotta do some work. I wouldn't be able to do it off stream because I got some college stuff, but I might do it next Tuesday or like whatever you guys choose I do next Tuesday or whenever is my next Blender stream type stuff. That said, I'm firstly gonna go ahead and save this. Let's go with something like file. I'm gonna go ahead and first I'm gonna export it as an QLB file. Let's go with something like desktop. I'm gonna go with something like nature shield. Let's go with NATURE nature shield. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and import my QLG file or QLB file. Then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the X button here. It's gonna ask if I wanna save. I wanna save it. I'm assuming it saved in my desktop, did it? Okay, if it did save in my desktop, why can't I see it? What up, guys? Let's see. I don't see a nature shield. Did I go ahead and cancel my entire folder? What up, guys? Let me get my Blender here real quick. So there we go. Let's go ahead and hit something like file. I'm gonna go with something like recover. Autosave. This is going to be my autosave. Let's recover. I want to save it. Save as. Okay, I want to go ahead and save it as nature shield. Okay, let's save it in my desktop. There we go. Why is it not in my desktop yet? Okay, did I not save it properly? Let's go with save as. It's already there. Saved as nature shield.blend. I do not see that in my Blender, guys. Is it in my home? I see desktop. I don't see a mesh in my desktop. A Blender QLB, Blender reference images, Blender meshes. Do you guys see nature? Nature. Okay, I actually do not see it. It's not in downloads. Edit object mode. Oh wait, could it be because I gotta go ahead and real quick go here, go ahead and apply my modifier. Let's apply. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and apply. And then apply. Oh, I don't want to duplicate it. I wanted to apply it. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that as well. I don't think we usually apply it all one at a time, but yeah, I guess I could apply it one at a time. Then no modifiers here. I have a mirror modifier here. Let's go ahead and apply it. There. Now, let me go ahead and go to File, go to Save. It says it's saved, but when I go with Save As, I want to save it as something in my desktop. It does not save. Okay, now it's saved. There we go. Let's grab it, put it in the mesh. There we go. Let's go ahead and exit it. It's saved there. In my QLB files. Hold on, guys. Let's go to something like QLB. Okay, wait. Hold up. Give me a sec, guys. Let me go to my Blender meshes again. I'm going to go to my nature shields. So there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my nature shields as mesh up here. Hold on, guys. There we go. It gets kind of tedious at times. I'm going to go with file. I'm going to go with something like export. Let's export this as a QLB file. I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to call it nature shield and export. Okay, there we go. I just had to give it a bit to export. Once it's done exporting, I'm going to go ahead and open my Blender's QLB files. Exit that. Now, would that go under my weapons category or should I create a new folder? I might go with something like new folder. Let's go with something like weapons. Okay, and a shield is technically considered a weapon if you think about it, guys, because we can even attack with a shield. Okay, that's it. That's pretty much it. Let me say something like, Sensei. I think that this was pretty much it for the stream. Okay, actually, I don't think I want to say like, guys, I don't think I have the time to like read everything that Gemini really says when I do my outro type stuff. When does you start stream? Honestly, if you guys do join my Discord server, I do like mention you guys before I start stream, but right now I do have college, so depending on my college schedule, like when my college ends, I come home and then I eat something real quick, then I start streaming, so it's depending on that when I start my stream. regardless, on the weekends my stream is going to be starting at about 12ish o'clock, or like I need to check that in like the CST time. But you guys could join my Discord server. That's where I usually answer that. That's where I usually mention you guys when I start streaming. Alright guys, so that was pretty much it for the stream. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps my algorithm, share, make you smile, and subscribe, click a cheer on top. That's it guys, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube, I will start multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well if I didn't meet the followers requirement. So if you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there. The link is going to be in the description. And also join my Discord server. That's why I usually talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have general conversation and all that stuff. The link will be in the description as well. And you guys can get access to my Discord server and my socials in general. If you guys type either exclamation socials to get access to my socials or exclamation Discord to get access to my Discord server in the chat. That's it. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.